Do you and your friends spend Saturday nights sipping red wine and sharing stories about how the men in your life have no idea how to deal with their emotions? Maybe you don't understand why men just can't stand speaking about their feelings for longer than 3 minutes, but will spend hours talking about sports or going into details about players' personal scores and why their favorite team is going to crush it in the finals. Throughout my decades of researching behaviors between men and women, there's one thing that stands out that women seem to fail to understand about men. Can you guess what it is? Women think that because men hate talking about their feelings, they've got no idea what's going on in their relationship or just can't place how they feel about the woman they're dating. Now, this is wrong, and I'm going to show you why. In this video, I'll reveal exactly what men talk about behind women's backs. I'll tell you what they think about certain types of women, things that they find sexy, and complete turnoffs. This is going to help you think from a man's perspective and be able to use this knowledge as a powerful tool to attract a high-quality man, or if you're already in a relationship, give you a bit of a better understanding of your partner. Now let's dive into some of the shocking and scandalous things that men are saying and never telling you about. Number one, she wants all my time, which makes me like her less. Sometimes when we first start dating someone that we really like, we find ourselves wanting to spend as much time with them as possible. And this may seem natural. I get it. You feel really great around the guy you're dating and you want to soak up that feeling. But when you try to take ownership of his time, that's when it becomes a problem. For example, let's just say a woman asks her boyfriend if he wants to go on a date on Friday. And he says he can't because he's got a plan with the boys. And even if she doesn't say anything, maybe she just makes like a disappointed face. And she'll say something like, oh, maybe you can pencil me in sometime. This is a common conversation between a woman and a man at some point when they're dating. And when a woman feels comfortable with a man, she's got no problem calling him out about how he should want to be with her more often, even if it means giving up on some, time with his friends or doing other things he likes. And sometimes a guy can feel like if he doesn't spend every moment with her, he's never going to be able to win. And there's nothing worse for a man than this feeling like no matter what he does, no matter how much time he spends with you, you'll still be disappointed in him. Now, this type of behavior can be problematic because he'll start to see you as being needy, and neediness is one of the biggest turnoffs for men. Just think about what happens when you put a wild animal in a cage. It fights like crazy to escape. Whether you've been dating casually for a few weeks or he's been your boyfriend for months or even years, no man wants to feel like he is the center and only part of a woman's universe. If a man feels like he is the only source of your pleasure, it's going to be a big red flag. Men really do desire a woman who does her own thing. She's got her own life. She doesn't need him to be happy. He wants someone who is secure with herself, who wants him to enjoy the things that he likes to do that don't always include her. So how can you avoid being needy and actually make a man want you more? Well, the first thing you can do is choose a health or financial or a skill-based goal and take disciplined action to achieve it. This could mean going out to your favorite workout class a few times a week, or going for a run every morning before work without making excuses, or just committing to take those salsa dancing classes you've been kicking yourself to do for years. How would this make a man desire you? Well, when you're overcoming challenges through disciplined action, we are at our peak self-performance, which gives us our peak self-confidence. Performing this disciplined action is going to make you appear more strong and put out that energy, which is really magnetic. Naturally, humans are drawn towards more disciplined people who are achieving bigger goals. Men want to be Steve Jobs, but they want to marry J-Lo, right? Someone who is sexy and smart and confident, and that's the ultimate package. Number two, she won't stop talking. Can I ever get some peace and quiet? Some women love to talk more than men, and that may be how they feel connected and express their emotions. But what those women don't understand is that as men, we feel like we can spend quality time together without always talking. My wife and I went out to dinner with our friends who are a married couple, and we asked them about a recent trip that they took to Mexico. Now, the woman, she was gushing about the time they were going snorkeling. She mentioned walking through the towns and trying different restaurants and meals. And the man, his favorite part was just sitting on the beach and watching the sunset with her. I think they were just, holding each other, and there was a local guitar player who was on the beach playing Spanish guitar. Do you just notice the difference? The man enjoyed quality time even though they weren't having a conversation. It was just the act of being together while doing something that can be satisfying. So if you live with a boyfriend or a husband, you don't need to be insulted if he just wants to relax and unwind or zone out without connecting verbally. During that time, if you want to connect, have a friend or someone that you can call up on the phone to connect with. If you let him do his own thing, it may make him feel more connected to you. Constantly requiring these deep talks about feelings can be a huge turnoff, and that brings me to number 3. She wants me to talk about my emotions. She's trying to change me. Good luck with that. Now, as we discussed earlier, men aren't always big fans of talking about their emotions. I'll give you an example here. One of my friends, let's call him Dave. David's got a great guy. He's got a great job. His life is, pretty well balanced. And he was dating this woman, we'll call her Rebecca, and they were getting along well, having a good time. But after 3 months of really fun dates and really steamy hookups, Rebecca slammed the brakes with the F word, feelings. She kept trying to get him to talk about his feelings more and more. And David, he said to me, he goes, she wants to talk about my feelings all the time. I don't get it. I can handle all my problems by myself. Now, although Rebecca was probably trying to just help David create more intimacy, get him to express his emotions, he actually felt like it was an attack on his ability to take care of his problems on his own. He didn't just see it as a turnoff. He found it a bit offensive that he felt like she was trying to change how he was solving his problems. Now, he even became more closed off with her. And listen, I'm not saying this is the most mature, best way to approach this, right? I'm not saying David's in the right here. However, I happen to know that David is a great guy. And it happens to be that many men may not want to discuss or verbalize their feelings. So when a woman tries to get a man to open up about his feelings, he may feel as she's trying to change him or push him to do something he doesn't want to do. And no one wants to feel like their partner isn't happy with who they are. And how would you feel if your partner was picking apart how you were expressing your emotions? Would you like it if he's like, babe, you would be a lot better off if you just solved your own problems instead of talking to all of your girlfriends about it? You may find that offensive in the same way that he may find giving him unsolicited advice about how he handles and verbalizes emotions. That may be offensive to him. To you, talking about your feelings with your partner, it may feel open and intimate, but if he doesn't feel that same way and you still try to get him to talk about his feelings all the time, it might not feel respectful to him. And you don't want your partner to feel like you're trying to control or change him because it may make him push away. So if you have that feeling like the man in your life isn't meeting your needs, well, you can pull back for a moment and maybe just not say anything. And like magic, maybe just not pushing that may actually drive him to action or to realize something. He might notice something's up and say, what's going on here, and self-diagnose. This way may actually help him feel like you trust him more to deal with the issue. Now, obviously, this strategy isn't right all the time. You should be open and honest and transparent with your partner when an issue pops up. However, if your current strategy isn't working, and if talking it out or pushing him to talk isn't working, maybe just wait and take a step back. And maybe just the act of pausing for a moment may give more clarity, allow the emotions to settle, and kind of open up the door for him to step through it rather than pushing him. Number 4, she isn't jumping at every chance to hang out with me. What, does she not want me? It makes me want her more. Have you ever heard the phrase, you want something you can't have? Well, that's exactly how men feel when it comes to going after a woman. High-quality men are typically used to being pursued and having women like them. Women want to date these guys, and as you heard earlier, a lot of women want to start taking up time after they've been dating for a little while. So if you act a little bit differently than other women, suddenly a man may not be able to get you out of his head. So when I was younger, one of my friends, Matthew, he was quite a ladies' guy, all right? He's attractive and charming, and women would even sometimes ask him out, even as a young guy. So he would date a woman for maybe 1 or 2 months, and I feel like they would become obsessed with him, and then he would just move on to another woman. And this would go on for years until he met Jess. When he first got Jess's number through a mutual friend, she would casually respond, whenever she was available. And when they would hang out, They'd have a great time, and she wouldn't rush to see him again the next day. She wouldn't call him all the time. She wouldn't ask him what he's up to. She would see him when it was convenient for her. And in the meantime, she just kept on living her fun social life, and it drove Matthew crazy. He couldn't figure out why she wasn't acting like all of the other women that were just ready to commit overnight. He saw her differently, and that's what made him treat her differently. He had to be the best possible version of himself to make a woman like her want to be with him. 15 years, a wedding, and 3 kids later, Jess still keeps him on his toes, and it's still one of his favorite things about her. What do men find really sexy? It's a woman who can have fun without them. That smart, successful man expects a woman to bring her own great qualities to the table. So it's important to be confident, be interesting, and show that every single day, every day of your life, it doesn't revolve around just him. Because when you're radiating with confidence and having a great time without him, you're sending this clear signal to him that you don't need him, that you've got that value internally. And remember, men want a woman who loves them, but not a woman who needs them. He wants an equal partner, not someone who he feels like is like this child that he has to constantly entertain and take care of. Number 5, she didn't care about what I thought of her, and it was so sexy. I'm going to start off by telling a story where this quote came from. So I was talking to this family friend recently who went on a first date with a woman that he met at a networking event. And they went for big burgers, fries, and milkshakes on the date. The entire time, they had this great conversation. He was feeling connected to her personality. But what was most interesting to him is that she ate this entire giant burger before he did. And she wasn't like sloppy about it, but she just didn't seem to care what he thought. She wanted to eat the burger, so she ate it. In a culture that's obsessed with looks and getting the perfect picture, a way for you to stand out among other women is to be confident in who you are, because confidence exudes in little things that you might not even notice, but it's definitely going to catch a guy's attention. So let's just review the types of behavior that men find really attractive. Number 1, a woman who doesn't try to control how he spends his time. 2, a woman who can appreciate time together without needing to talk constantly. And this could just, mean cuddling on the couch while watching a movie or reading books next to each other side by side. Number 3, a woman who lets him express his emotions how and when he wants to. Number 4, a woman who knows how to have fun without him. And number 5, a woman who loves herself and doesn't care how people perceive her because she knows that she's amazing. Now that you know what men talk about behind women's backs, you can use this insider knowledge to attract a real high quality man, or just have a better understanding of what your current partner needs to be fulfilled. Imagine if you applied these tips with the man you're dating. You cool down, you let him do his own thing, you show that you're a smart, successful woman who doesn't need him to have a good time. You don't pressure him to be anyone but who he is, and he loves you for it. A few months from now, he'll tell his friends, wow, she's unlike any woman I've ever met. She's just so fun and exciting and calm. I really respect her, and I think I could see myself with her forever. You deserve to have a man who loves you in that way and wants to commit to you long term. I know if you're watching my channel that you are a smart, ambitious woman who wants to learn more about how men think to be able to see things from their perspective. Well, now you're equipped with a powerful tool, and you can use it to find a man who chooses you every single day to be his person. Listen, I really appreciate you coming here, taking the time to watch this video and improve your own dating life. I hope that hearing what men say behind women's backs is going to help you to feel more empowered and just give you a better idea of how men really think. And if you did find this video helpful and you want to access my more advanced premium programs that are only available currently to my private clients, just click the link in the description below. You'll get an exclusive look at my step-by-step attraction system that will help you to meet a high-quality man fast. Be well.